I feel like every time after I watch someone do a Forever Island video, right after that they just post something like my new team, or I'm doing this, or I flattened, or something really clickbaity like that. Not gonna do that. I know that this title maybe makes you feel like I did that potentially right after posting a Forever Island tour, but no freaking way. I was about to reset that island, like I said. So I did the thing. I bought another Switch. The thing I said I wouldn't do for the longest time. And I bought another Switch so I could do an MCR island. As I said it, I'm doing My Chemical Romance inspired island. I'm actually not gonna do a deep dive into why I'm making a My Chemical Romance inspired island. Just know that this band represents so much of what I believe and believed while I was a teenager, and they really helped me out during a not so silly goofy time, and that really resonated with me throughout the rest of my life. Basically, the reason I'm making this entire video is because I planned it for the first time ever. Now I want to go about doing these types of things when I play Animal Crossing, because I like to just, mostly play Animal Crossing. But since I'm feeling my YouTuber fantasy, we're doing that. So I'm gonna walk you through some of my ideas, the things I plan to do on this island. I have some stuff done already. I'm not gonna show it yet. It's been a while since I made this thing, a month maybe. So I do have the layout already and the island all set up with some villagers. I have some villager hunts pre-recorded already, and we do have the selection for the villagers. I'm gonna spoil some of the things, but for now, let's just focus on what I decided to call my Chemical Romance inspired islands. So I really thought about using the name Zone 6, which is something from Danger Days, one of my favorite albums, not even gonna lie. I think that it just resonates with me so much because it came out when I was really feeling the band, and I've just really got into the Black Parade, and it really felt like they were doing something. But I feel like Zone 6 is not much of a direct MCR reference, if you know what I'm saying. Maybe when you think MCR, you think names such as Helena, or I don't know, more obvious stuff. That got me thinking of songs that potentially had names similar to town names. And I remembered that Early Sunsets Over Monroeville was one of my freaking favorite songs when I was a teenager. So when I was a young boy. So I decided to just go with that. But Animal Crossing did us real dirty. So we just called it Monroeville. Without any. Yeah. Starting off with our villagers. Listen, right off the bat, I think you get what I'm saying, right? The vibes are here. The vibes are pretty much immaculate. The I don't love you villagers. Isn't this the people in this picture? Roscoe and freaking Piper? You're not lying to me. I know they are. That could also be Nan and Chevra. I get that. But hear me out. Roscoe and Piper. So yeah, that's happening. Just so we're clear here. That's definitely happening. I did consider Roscoe to maybe not be a part of this and just go with Apollo here. But he does have some white around his head and he's kind of grayish. One of my first villager hunts, actually, that I recorded already, I came across Roscoe and I thought, No way I'm gonna let this bitch go just like that. Look at those freaking red circles of an eye. And that is also something I considered for the vampires will never hurt you era. You know, when they were vampires and they were covered with blood all the time, that kind of stuff. And Rodeo really feels like a freaking vampire because he's also got the glowing eyes. But Roscoe just, I don't know, doesn't that feel similar to you? Are those not the same person? I don't know. You can tell me otherwise, really. The other villager that I'm pretty certain about, and I think it's only based on the font of the cover art, is Fuchsia. Hear me out. Fuchsia for the Danger Days era as a Killjoy. In my head, for some reason, the Killjoys were much more colorful, seemed more colorful, but perhaps it was just the position of not having any color during the Black Parade era, and then, whoa, what's this? Are we allowed to be happy now? Is this the sun? So, when I considered villagers, I did tend to go a bit more colorful. I forgot what I'm saying, love. And that's why I'm considering maybe having another villager for the Danger Days era. I just realized that they're all horses, and that's kind of weird. But these are basically the ones that I'm considering. I mean, Julian, I'm considering because he's a freaking unicorn, and that person at the start of the Nanana video, you know what I'm going with here. I don't know, it's just all the LGBT vibes, all my alphabet people, you know. And then Buck is a recent obsession of mine. He's also kind of colorful, but not that much. And I think that fits the aesthetic pretty well. And his eyebrows, those eyebrows really are up to something. And it feels like the villain during the Danger Days era, which is something I'm still gonna get into. But we also have to consider Ed, because Ed's just a colorful little emo boy. And if we're considering Julian, we'll also have to consider Ed, right? Having another villager for the Danger Days era is an idea, but I'm considering them yet. The crows means the villagers that I've considered, and I haven't gotten to a conclusion yet. And then, of course, we have, if you keep up with the Amanda files, you know that Wade is the savior of the broken, the beaten, and the downed. And I don't even have to explain anything about this. He's got the bleached white hair that Gerard had during that era. He's got the black vibe around his fur that fits the jackets. Yeah, I don't think I have to get much further into why Wade is definitely coming to this island. Definitely. I'm not saying that he's already there, but he might. He just might. The other thing I've considered, and you can see by the crow here, is having Lucky as the patient. I mean, it's not aesthetically fitting, but he's got the bandages on. So maybe? Let me know in the comments. And please do let me know in the comments which villagers I should go with. Do I get completely honest here? I'm gonna get completely honest here. We already have almost a full roster, but we still have to find Fuchsia and someone else. Is that someone else gonna be someone for the Danger Days era, or maybe Lucky, or Rodeo. I don't know. What do you prefer? Let me know. Please and thank you. Of course, we have our Elena herself, Miss Muffy. She's just giving off all the vibes. I did consider Tiffany for this role as well. She has Elena quality, but I'm thinking of getting Tiffany on Purgatory. So I didn't want to mix things up because I plan on, I don't know, maybe actually playing once in a while doing the builds here on Monroeville. So I want to get to know these villagers as well. That's a huge thing. And that's why Bella, which would fit perfectly, let me tell you, Bella would be she fits the Black Parade concept. She fits everything, you know? She fits the Danger Days era. She's everything. She's my bestie, of course. But she's stuck on Purgatory and she's never gonna leave there. So I didn't wanna mix both islands. I don't know why that was so difficult to say. But yeah, I didn't want to have the same villagers on both islands. Then we have other villager options. And if you take a look at stuff like this little ghost, it means that I don't have a reason, honestly, why they're even here. I don't know that they fit any team other than Tasha. I have a reason for Tasha to be on this island, and I'm gonna stand by it in a minute. But let's talk about these other ones. Can you go away, Tasha? Thank you. Apollo, I just really wanted him on my island. I love Miss Kiki. I really, really love her. I've had her on my island before, and I got her photo. We spent a lot of time together. It was really fun. She was really cute. But I don't think I want to have the same villagers that I had before. Because like I said, before, I'm saying a lot of befores, aren't I? I do plan on actually playing a bit on this island as well. So, and when we still need like maybe, I don't know, more than one personality, because villagers keep saying the same shit over and over again. And when considering normals, I also love Nan. And I think you can pretty much tell that I'm going for a black and white aesthetic here. Don't think I have to elaborate on that. It's pretty clear why. If you don't get it, sorry. Maybe listen to My Chemical Romance. That's all I can say. But yeah, I actually... Let me tell you why Miss Renee is here. I ended up liking Renee after watching Amanda Files, but I did not care for her before that. I don't know, it just felt like she was a forgettable villager. But I bought a Switch Lite to transfer one of my islands, and I don't know what came over my head. I just forgot that you can't actually use a recording device on a Switch Lite. So I just started playing, and I created Monroeville, and I played till I got 3 stars, and I got all the things to start building. And then I realized that maybe I should have been recording some of these things that happened. And Renee was there, and Renee was my starter actually. And I got it. Let me tell you, I got it. And when I really thought about it, and if you look at her and Miss Tasha here together, I think you can pretty much understand what I'm getting at, right? I mean, right? So, yep, that's happening. That has happened. Actually, they are already on my island again. Tasha was actually the first one I found. Probably shouldn't say that because I have that recorded and I'm gonna post another video. But, anyways, Fear and Regret, the Black Parade. If you got the concept, you know what I'm talking about. And honestly, I didn't want to have a Modern War villager because I don't even think we have a villager that fits that aesthetic. But these two, look, this picture and this picture, they're the same. I'm just saying. So, yeah, that's happening, pretty much done already. And of course, we have some other options here that I would be really okay with getting. Yes, there's a crow on Antonio, and I know that the anteaters aren't a favorite. In fact, many people don't care for them, and I didn't care for them also, if I'm being completely honest. But would you look at the sleeves? Isn't that just an emo boy? Yep. So I think it's worth considering Antonio. Also, don't think we have a jock at the island at the moment. I don't think. Actually, we don't. We don't have a jock, and we don't have a smug villager, and that's why Zell is there. Also, I don't like Zell. I don't know. Something just it doesn't sit well with me. So I've considered him for the black and white aesthetic, but I don't think I want him around Monroeville. So we have one spot, and these are our options, I think. Oh, and rodeo. Yeah. So, who are you voting for? Do we just straight up get a villager for the personalities that we don't have around the island yet, like Antonio and what's his name? Something around Carly Rae Jepsen, Julian. Or we maybe just go on another route, maybe a more obvious one, and get lucky for the patient from the Black Parade, or just rodeo for another vampire villager, or maybe another killjoy. Let me know, please do let me know. I'm not sure of what I'm gonna do yet, and we have that spot to fill, and I want to be one of these, I'm pretty sure. But if you got other suggestions as well, that would be great, because I do have some build ideas here. As you can see, I've got some codes already and some inspiration around Pinterest and other sites for the places we want. Oh, I completely forgot about these two. We do have other two options. We could go with Cobb for course. Does it fit the vibes? Does Cobb look like this person? No, he doesn't, but for some reason, and don't ask me exactly what it is, I just feel like Cobb would make sense for him. Maybe because of the whole better living industries thing. Not sure. But I did consider him. And of course, our doctor that defined, our surgeon, our proctor, our helicopter, Mr. Eugene. And he's also a smug, so that's pretty good for him if we're considering the stuff I said before. So I think that these are actually all our options. Villagers that are on my island that I would give up on to maybe fit one or even two of the ones that are here are Apollo and Nan, probably, because I I really want to have them on my island, but I don't have a reason for it. I want all the villagers to pretty much integrate to the theme and make sense with the builds and where they're placed, because that's a big reason as well. I do plan to place these two right next to each other, so maybe we build the area for the I Don't Love You music video around their houses and we see them actually walking around that part. That would be really fun. And of course, we have these villagers as well, like I said before. So please help me. I need help. I feel like I really need help with this. It's hard. So let's go for the builds that I have planned. Starting with, I think the one of the most significant ones for the island, which is of course the desert part for the Danger Days area. I do want to have these deserts that people build around social media that are just parts of the island that are fully filled with termite mounds and that have the path that just is giving off the sandy vibes. I think this is a pretty clear concept. Not much to say about this. Some stuff that I have considered comes on later on when we get to the part where I did check the other MCR inspired islands. So we'll talk more about that later. And of course, we need to have a gas station. I feel like there's that scene where they're near a gas station or a convenience store, I don't remember, but it's something that gives off some of these vibes, and I just feel like it would really make sense. And I have this idea of just placing a custom design on that item, which, what is it called? It's actually a trash can, but it's made of metal, and it really looks like a mailbox. I think it would look good, and to try and emulate these vibes. Yeah, so I think that this is pretty much the more straightforward part of the island that would work out of the MCR concept probably, because there are a lot of islands inspired by deserts and canyons and stuff like that. So we've got plenty of inspiration to get from, which is really good. Then, do I even have to say it? The most important part of the island is, of course, the Black Parade. I got inspired by Minecraft, as you can see here. Because of the tiers, I think that they're doing something interesting here that I could try and emulate with maybe something like this. I don't know, something just really spoke to me on that Minecraft picture, so that's why I put it there. This, amazing. This, amazing. This, do I even have to say it? Freaking amazing. And of course, we have the Black Parade made by Amanda Files. Go check out her video on it. It's pretty great. I loved it, and it was maybe my starting point to actually consider doing something crazy like this, like doing an entire island dedicated to My Chemical Romance. So definitely go check out her video. I'm gonna try and leave it linked here somewhere. But I think we're going more on a industrial vibe. I don't know if I'm gonna set the island during the winter or not, because this made me really think about it for the white floor purposes. The contrast is really giving, and I like the integration of all the metal stuff with the towers of Pisa. Is that what it's called? And of course the lights as well. So I'm considering even maybe setting the dream address on a winter season, or perhaps just during a very foggy time that makes it stand out like this one. I think that this is pretty much editing, but the fog would look great as well with something like this. So that's what I'm going for as far as the background for the Black Parade area goes. Cutting to our church where we're celebrating Helena herself. We do need to get the flyers. I think I'll actually record a video, maybe creating some custom designs. I've actually selected a few pixel art things that potentially could help me out with creating some stuff that I want around the island. I'm not good at pixel art, so I do need some reference. This stuff right here, this is just what I need to create shirts and stuff like that, because that's another thing. I want the villagers to actually wear the outfits and stuff like that. So it's a pretty big deal to create these designs myself, even the ones that are their outfits that they used on these different eras, so that I can hang around Abel's and see the villagers wearing them out around Monroeville. That's a pretty big thing that I want to do. And like I said before, I'm not good with the custom designing thing, but I've been watching some videos about it. I'm trying to get better at it, and these patterns here really help with that. A question, honestly, because I'm not sure. But maybe we can do videos designing things. So let's go back to the Elena part. I thought about actually doing the church thing inside of a house, maybe a one-room house, maybe my own villager house. But then I saw this build right here. Isn't this freaking stunning? So I thought maybe I could recreate something like this. That feels a bit more gothic, of course, and make it actually so you can go inside it. And then inside this part, we go off with the church thing. I also feel like this is something maybe from Salem, I think. It's one of the YouTubers that collabed with Amanda Files for the MCR video. So maybe go check them out as well. I know that they're doing what's it called? Scene Inspired Island. And I think that's amazing, honestly. Such a vibe. Go check them out, definitely, if you're watching this. And I saved some random custom designs that just felt like they made sense with the parts that I was mood boarding for. I thought about doing an entrance inspired by the room of the patient for the Black Parade. Maybe just something really simple, straight off the airport, where you walk to and there's a bed, and if you go to the right, you access the Black Parade. If you go to the left, you access the Danger Days area. Almost like you were to choose between life or death. I know that those are definitely not the concepts for the albums themselves, and they're not even connected, so doesn't actually make sense. But for some reason, aesthetically, on an Animal Crossing island, I thought it would, so I'm probably gonna do that. And then I just added some items here that I felt like would make sense in this build specifically. The next one, we have the I Don't Love You section part of the island, which is really straightforward. It's probably just gonna be a bench, some lighting, and lots of decayed trees, or maybe just one decayed tree in a real desert area. Don't know what I'm doing yet. Don't know if I necessarily like the contrast of actually having black flooring or black pathing around the island like this with the green grass. So when saving the dream address, I'll definitely have to consider that and maybe ask for suggestions as well. Anyways, let's go to the next part, which is, oh, this is a heavy one. The Ghost of You part around our beaches. This island, this part right here, it's actually from the island that's already been created, that's inspired by My Chemical Romance as well. So basically, beaches, cannons, gas masks, rocks, maybe something like that. Also, something that I did already, and I think that it really fits the theme. I left bladders on the beach with a tent, and it's the green tent, the starting one, so it feels like something military. Maybe it will go well with this area. I don't know, we'll have to see. But that's another area that I want to have on the island. Also, for the entrance, I have considered doing the return era, where we have these Greek statues and broken pieces everywhere, and a pentagram with the albums laying around, with a sword right in the middle, with these bridges that connect to different parts. Do I go for something like this for the entrance, or do I just straight up keep my idea of doing the patient room? Also, the thing is, if we're going with Lucky as a villager, which keeps coming back to my head actually, that maybe we should, because it would make a lot of sense. It probably wouldn't make sense for the entrance part to be that, because then his house would be near the entrance as well. And I don't know that I necessarily want a house right at the entrance of the island. But then again, entrances don't mean anything anymore, since we're only sharing dream addresses. It's gonna be one of these two. Don't know which one yet. Suggestions in the comments, maybe? Post your vote. I don't know. And I think that's pretty much the music video parts. Oh, we've got, of course, some here that are just random bits that come from music videos that I want to integrate somewhere. I wanna have these lockers for the Blood music video, and Blood is one of my freaking favorite songs ever. It's so short and it is so good. I want to add that to the island as a transition area somewhere, maybe to the teenagers part, and then we have to talk about what is the teenagers era, what's it gonna be. Probably a concert, because that's a running theme on their music videos. There's Desolation Row, there's teenagers. During the Ghost of You, they also have a concert, so we definitely need to have an area like this one. But I think that I'll go with the teenagers theme, just so the lockers make more sense. The room with the lockers, the hallway with the lockers, I should say. And this part, of course, is based off the returning promos for the Fake Your Death stuff, and I don't remember what the videos were called, but they were all basically this seance thing with someone putting the records on a pentagram like this. And this design, this picture right here, which is from Google, by the way, is where I thought, how convenient that this person have all these My Chemical Romance things on their island. Maybe I should check out where this comes from. And when I tell you that this also comes from the same island, I was a bit, oh my god, did I just bought a second Switch for another island with the concept that someone has already gone for. Probably. Am I gonna quit? Probably not. Because that's another thing. Once I finish this island, I'm probably just gonna restart and be a serial islander. I don't know. But maybe just choose silly teams like this one that actually bring me joy and that brings a lot of fun to the game for me personally to do something like this that's not core-esque, because I feel like I've spent a lot of time playing Animal Crossing focusing on, I don't know, cottagecore. The cottagecore era was a big deal on the Animal Crossing community, and then the city core thing came up really strongly to me, and I do enjoy having these themes that are community based. I don't know if saying that these themes are community based even makes sense, but that you see going around the community and social media, I don't even want to say that they're common, because I don't think they are, but you know what I mean, like fairy core and kitty core and cottage core, and they're just like aesthetics. They're not necessarily themes. They give off vibes that you go for, but when you choose a theme like this of having a My Chemical Romance inspired island, I feel like you're trying to accomplish specific builds of specific things and to reproduce that, other than just, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm sorry. I just tend to ramble a lot. But yeah, and this, of course, is the famous last words part that I also want to add to one of my beaches. It took me a while to actually realize that the famous last words background is actually the Black Parade on fire. Am I even a fan of My Chemical Romance at this point? That's something I want to integrate to my island as well. I think it's gonna be probably a simple build, because decorating beaches are something that doesn't bring me a lot of joy. Not gonna lie. But maybe with a team like this, I don't know, something just perhaps will click. Oh, and this idea actually came to me today, minutes before I started recording this. Hotel Bella Muerte, bitch. Of course, it would be added to a part near the Danger Day section of the island that's more desert-like, but it would be really fun to actually have one of the villagers be the person that runs Hotel Bella Muerte, and that could be perhaps a vampire like Rodeo, or another villager that I have no clue who it could be. So please help me. I need help. Let me know who you would like to see running Hotel Bella Muerte. And I also want to make custom designs like this one. These ones, I should say. It's 3 different custom designs to actually spell out Hotel Bella Muerte and, you know, just be something really obvious. Oh, I also have some codes that I just splashed around here. Maybe something for reference later on. Some paths that I thought maybe could make sense on certain parts of the island. Decorations that could go on the Black Parade section. Then, let's talk about it. Here's when I visited Brandyland, which is the name of the My Chemical Romance inspired island. And as you can clearly see from this picture, many of the builds that I used as inspiration on other parts of this mood board came from this island, and I didn't even have a clue. It felt like a freaking full circle moment once I got, by the way, here's their dream address if you want to check out their island. Their island looks really good. I'm not still going on with this concept so I can create something better than them. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm about. I'm using their island even as inspiration because I think it looks so freaking cool. So, anyways, go visit Brandyland. Definitely, it's a really freaking good island. But it felt like a really full circle moment when I saw this sign right here, which said Danger Zone 6. And it felt so interesting too that their start of the desert part for the Danger Days section of the island started out at the beach. Felt like something really interesting, and I'm just now noticing how they freaking inserted the Better Living Industries logo there. That looks so good. I'm definitely stealing that. I'm really sorry. By the way, they have a code for the Better Living Industries thing that's even placed on their vending machines, which is so freaking clever. I loved it. Definitely gonna be stealing this. And here's their code if you wanna save it for yourself. I'm gonna probably just use their code. I'm not gonna create another one. Also, that brought us to this part. They have the road thing that I said before that is something I want to accomplish with this desert part, and just a few of the keep running vibes. But they also have had this camp part right here, which is so freaking clever, and the way they use the hats and the goggles there to just bring a lot of personality into this. Yeah, that looks so freaking good. It's a genius move, honestly. And I'm gonna be doing this, honestly. The church is probably one of the churches that we saw before on the Elena part of the mood bar, which looks so good, of course. I love the way they used different flowers here, so it's definitely an inspo. Here's the summoning circle, of course, looks really freaking good like it did in the picture. There, I don't love you part, which is also really clever how they placed it on the beach to, I don't know, just give more contrast to the colors, the black and the white, without it mixing up with the grass, even though they had like these black paddings that look so good around their island. But yeah, I thought this definitely looked really good, and the black flowers as well. Definitely gonna be using black flowers around my island too. This concert area was so big, and when I tell you, it looked so good, so good. The way that they used different levels to create these observation points, and then the cameras here, I just think it looks really freaking good, and it's probably something that I'm gonna be referencing when creating the teenagers section. And of course, the famous last words part, which I thought was so interesting. If you walk to the left here on this picture, you actually have a backstage section, like they were just recording this music video, and I thought that was so fun. It was really good. So yeah, like I said before, Brandyland is freaking amazing. They captured the essence that I'm going for, basically. I did wanna shout them out here because their island is so good, and they said they spent like 2 years, I think, working on it. So really good job there, and I just hope I can pull off some things like that nearly look like this on Monroeville. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all my mood board. Please do let me know which villagers should we go for. I do need help with this. Personally, I think these two would make more sense lore-wise. And then I don't know, I would have to maybe get rid of Apollo, probably, because we already have a cranky and we don't have a normal. Yeah, please let me know if you have any suggestions that we can integrate around Monroeville. Thank you so much for watching. If you're actually watching this video until this point, I hope we get to share some moments building this island. I'm so excited to actually start with the builds. I'm thinking about doing speed builds, especially for this area, the Black Parade. I'm so excited to create it, to recreate it, I should say. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye.